What I'm going to do now is show you how I take this nut out, and then I'll do the frets. These nuts were glued down years ago. Sometimes they use glue to hold them down, and then they put a finish on the fingerboard itself, so some lacquer gets in here, and then on this side here as well. And then there's some here, and there's some on the other side. And this is what I use. This is just solely for doing what I'm going to do here and nothing else. I don't do anything but score these little pieces right in here to take this nut out, and that's it. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to probably have my hands in the way, and you won't be able to see what I'm doing, but this is how I do it. And I just get very, very careful, and I put my point in between the fingerboard itself and the nut, and I just follow the line and I score it. And what I'm doing is I'm actually scoring the finish that's on here, so I can break the seal. And just be very, very careful. And this blade is extremely sharp. It is razor sharp. And just slightly once, and then I go back and I do it again. And then I go to the other side. And I score it over here, and I have my light that I can see. And I hear the crackle. Don't dig in too hard, just nice and light. Let the weight itself do it. The precision of your work come into play. Steady hand. Okay, so I've got it scored on both sides. And now what I do is I score it here on the end where the nut meets the fingerboard, and then I go up, clean it off, and I get on this side and I score it up. And then I do the same thing over here on this side, score it up. And then one more time on this side, score it up. And the same thing over here again, score it up. Doesn't take much because the finish is very thin, it's very old. It's gonna go right through. And then the same thing on this side. And what I do now is I grab a piece of wood that's square, and I start here in the middle, and I'm gonna just hit it slightly in the middle. And I use the soft end, and I just hit it like that, and then go over to the edge, do it again, do it here, and then I get on this side, and I do it. Put it right on there. Make sure this is nice and clean and square and not rough like this here. So I want to use this edge nice and clean and square, so you don't scratch anything. And then boom, another hit and another hit. Okay, and then I come back and do it again on this side. And you can almost feel this thing start to come loose. It's just enough to kind of knock it loose. That's what we're trying to do. This tool right here, this is what I use to take the frets out with. And I put it here on the edge, nice and easy. Grab a hold of it and see if it'll start to come out on the edge here. And as you can see, it's starting to come out, just like that. That's how you get this thing out. And then you can just play with it until it's loose. And if you don't feel comfortable with taking this out, then come over here on this side with these tool and lift it up. And then there it is. And these are the chisels that I use to clean this groove out. And here's the other one right here. This is just the right width to fit in here to clean it out. There's nothing more dangerous than a dull knife or chisel. They have to be extremely sharp. This is a safer chisel. If it were dull, it'd be more dangerous because it won't cut, and you can slip and you can hurt yourself Don't want to do that. So I take this guy, I blow off any excess that's there, and I take this guy here and clean off all the old glue, anything that's on there. Don't take any wood out. This is just for the glue that was in here. Okay, I'm going to take the first fret out, and this is the same way we do it for all the frets. And like I said, we got to get underneath this fret to start taking it out. And so what I do is I take this knife that is just for that. It's another Japanese knife. This is a utility knife, so I don't have to worry about the sharpness of it. Just make sure that it doesn't have any nicks on it. So I keep that sharp that way, but it's not like razor sharp. And so what I do is I take it and I put it right here in the corner so I can get underneath the fret. And then I take my hammer here, and I just hit it here on this side to get underneath. And I just tap a little bit, just nice and easy. And then on this side over here, until it gets underneath, you can feel it. And then I do it again. And then I do it a second time again. Okay, because I want to get underneath there. And then I take my tool that I use to get underneath here and see if I can get underneath there. And if I can't, because it feels like I can't do it, I go back and bring it up some more. Okay. Now that we got it going, I'll go ahead and finish it up with the one that I want to use. And just do it a little at a time. Rock it back and forth, back and forth, further down, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until finally, there it is. And it's done. And I want to show you, I want to leave it on here so you can see it. It's clean. You can see all the dirt and sweat from years and years of playing. And we got a nice groove. The finish is the only thing that came off. Perfect. So I'm going to have to use it to measure to get the right size fret wire, the same depth and everything. Width, if I can, as close as I can to it, but not too thin, because you want it to grab into that wood to hold itself down, besides the glue holding it down. And that's what I'm going to do to the rest of them. All right, I have finished removing all the frets off this guitar that I'm refretting. They're all the old ones. Looking pretty good. Nice and straight. There's a little area right here, you see there? There's not much, there's light there. And so we're gonna have to tighten it up a little bit to get it straight. A little bit of light there. There's light there. So now what I'm gonna do is take a breather, and then we'll get back here, I'll straighten it out, then I'm gonna take these frets here, and I'll use my micrometer to check the depth, everything, to get the new fret that's going to go inside these slots here.